Unicorns and glitter and taxidermy critters are just some of the things they like. They also enjoy 80s hair bands, Grizzly Adams and John Goodman, so if you think that's weird then you can take a hike. But the things they enjoy the most are making art and cracking jokes, so without further ado, here are your hosts. You've got your two artsy gals, Here are your two artsy gals.
Hey everybody, this is Katie.
And this is Sharon.
And you are listening to the Two Artsy Girls podcast.
We're actually two artsy gals, but that's okay.
Did I say girls? Fuck. Okay, I'll do that over again. Let's start over.
I think you should leave it.
So this week we are going to talk about paper mache.
Ooh, I love it.
I do too, and I think most people are pretty familiar with what it is, but I'll do a little wiki page reading real quick. Actually, I did not know this is kind of gross. Did you know that paper mache is French for chewed paper?
Yum. No, I didn't know that.
I've done my share of paper eating in my life, but, I think we covered that in a past episode. So maybe this is good follow-up on that, chewed paper and all. But anyway, it's just a composite material consisting of paper or pieces of pulp, sometimes reinforced with textiles, bound with adhesives such as glue, starch, and wallpaper paste. And I think everybody at some point in their life has worked with paper mache on a real basic level.
Oh yeah, grade school.
Totally. So, when were you first introduced to paper mache? Like, when can you remember the first time using it?
Grade school.
Like,
what did we make? I don't know. Like, did we make like little cups or bowls or something? I think we maybe did it in Bluebirds.
Pinatas?
Oh, I never got that far, I don't think.
Oh, really? We did in grade school. I don't remember what grade it was. I don't even remember the teacher. But we did, we blew up balloons and we all made our own little pinatas.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I did do that. Yeah, and put the candy in the balloon.
There's nothing smarter than turning a room full of fucking kids loose with sticks and multiple pinatas hopped up on cookies and fucking punch.
It's a great idea.
It is. There was lots of crying involved, some bruises.
Sure, yeah.
Candy,
Public schools like to do that.
I know, and I think as a mom, when my son went to public school, I was always like, really? Are we going to do this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couldn't we just do this?
You're right.
I don't think that not letting your kid whack a paper mache thing with a stick is making them miss out on an integral part of their childhood. I really don't. But anyway, I think that's the first thing I remember ever doing with paper mache is pinatas when we were little kids. Mm-hmm. And I think because I got super obsessed with it, I tried making more and more pinatas at home. Which my mom got very tired of very quickly.
She didn't like all the pinatas.
No, I think she was more concerned. My mom had an issue with messes.
Oh,
and let's face it, paper mache is probably one of the messier projects you could work with.
I love it. I love the feel of it, though. You stick the newspaper in,
and
then
the
you
slimy feeling.
Slide it through your fingers to squeegee it off, and then you lay it on, you move it around to make it.
It is pretty awesome.
Perfect. I love it.
Do you have a most memorable project that you did with paper mache growing up, or?
Well, I can just remember the feeling of it in my hands.
So you just remember actually getting to work with it, and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you used long strips or little squares of newspaper.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I think I was in high school and I tried to do this. I decided I was going to be a sculptor.
Oh.
A modern art sculptor.
Uh-huh.
So I took wire hangers and bent them up into weird shapes and then paper mache'd them to make them like sculptures. And what happened is, because I grew up on the Oregon coast, and it is a very humid, moist climate. And I did not grow up in a house with electric heat. I grew up in a house with wood heat. So either it was like balls hot and you had to take all your fucking clothes off, or
I can relate.
It was cold as fuck and you had to bundle up. But this inconsistency does not lend itself to thorough drying of paper mache when you layer it on so fucking thick that, like, by the time I got done with this thing, I'm not kidding you, it probably weighed 25 pounds.
Oh my god.
And it wasn't that big.
It's paper mache.
I know. And coat hangers. I know. But I didn't have the fucking interwebs for research when I was a kid.
Oh my god.
So what happened is, it molded.
Oh, because it's probably still wet. That's
I had a big, fuzzy, gross-ass thing that my mom made me throw away.
Oh, and you were like, oh, it's
by
my
the time it did that, no, I was over it. Because, like, the rust was coming through, the rust from the hangers underneath was, I don't think you understand how thick I made the paper mache. Like, it was
oh my god,
bad.
Getting an idea.
Huh?
I'm getting an idea.
For, like, a paper mache disaster or a good paper mache?
I'm getting an idea of how thick it
like, I'm talking about... Oh, okay, I get it. I was like, wait, what? I'm giving you a paper mache idea?
I'm gonna go make a pile of shit. Paper mache moldy wire hanger.
You can wrap your husband in paper mache and let it dry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that to mine as soon as I get done here.
I think that's a good idea. I think you need to.
Get the
hairdryer out so you can dry it real fast.
It needs to be paper mache. Oh my god! It could be like a husband-shaped piñata.
Oh.
Oh, that's a little close to an effigy, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, historically, paper mache is used very often for, like, making effigies of people and burning them, or... I'm not that mad at him right now, so I'm not gonna burn an effigy of my husband. But yeah, we're back on track. Since we veered. Yeah. So I guess, I don't know, that was my most memorable paper mache project, but because it was a disaster.
Oh.
And it can be applied too thick.
Oh my god.
Which is the takeaway from that. And historically speaking, it has been used in the past for making effigies. So there you go. We've learned something. But let's learn...
And you use such a big word, like it's like a word of the week.
Oh, we should do that and have like a little chime that goes ding. Oh my god, I just had this vision of you like on Grease, the crazy lady in the office that goes ding 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 and plays the little xylophone every time they make an announcement.
Oh my god.
So you need to get one.
Brilliant.
So you can go ding 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 and then
maybe we have one around.
I am pretty sure that you have kids young enough that you have a toy xylophone somewhere in your house.
If not, I can bang on some glassware tchotchkes around here.
Tchotchkes. The million tchotchkes.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that we know, like, kind of what it is, I guess we should maybe talk a little bit about how you do it.
Okay.
Because most people, like I said, most people probably know you rip up paper, it doesn't have to be newspaper. You can use tissue paper. Actually, I prefer tissue paper sometimes as an overlayer because it's smoother than...
Yeah.
But you can use...
Yeah, if you get wrinkles, then you can smooth them out a little better with the tissue paper.
And you can use any kind of paper. It doesn't have to just be newspaper. You can also use fabrics. A lot of artists, and we'll talk about some pretty awesome paper mache artists later, but a lot of artists use fabrics instead of papers, or they do a top coat in fabric, which also lends a really nice texture to it. And the adhesives, I did a paper mache project. I want to say it was last year, but I think it might have been longer ago than that, for a trade in an art group I belong to. And I looked up wheat paste recipes because it had been so fucking long since I had actually made it or worked with it. And I found this website that I'm going to put a link to because this lady has, what's the name of it? Ultimate Paper Mache is the name of the website, and it has paste and clay recipes. Now, if you click some links, she actually has videos to, she calls it Silky Smooth, air dry clay recipe that's kind of a mache type material that she made up the recipe for. So, and she shows a video of how to make it, which is really cool.
Oh, awesome.
But she also gives you recipes for boiled flour paste and raw flour paste. I've never done the boiled flour paste, but in reading her notes, she says that the boiled flour paste doesn't tend to be as durable.
Uh-huh.
So, but it does dry clear if you need it to dry clear. So, but basically, I'm trying to look at the measurements really quickly on here. She doesn't really give specific measurements, but it's really just flour and water. And you mix it, like I mix it with, I use a hand mixer, just my hand mixer.
Oh, cool.
Mix it up so you don't have any lumps or caca, chunkies in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to post this so that our listeners can check it out, because she also has a recipe for a glue-based papier-mâché paste and some other really useful recipes for papier-mâché. And actually, this is a really cool website. So she has a lot of papier-mâché tutorials and stuff on there. So you should all check it out anyway. I can't see her name anywhere.
Wow.
But it's a really good, again, that site is Ultimate Paper Mache. But basically, like I said, it's just flour and water for your basic paste. And you can get more, you can get more serious about it or use glues and stuff in it too. But I just like the plain water and flour. Although I noticed something the last time, this is disgusting and I apologize, but it kind of smells like jizz. I know it's gross, but it totally does.
Oh my. Wow.
When you're using it, I don't know. The next time you use paper mache, you're going to think that and you're going to go, fuck you, Katie. You're totally right. This is disgusting. Because it totally does, and it's super gross. But jizz smell aside, it's pretty awesome.
Oh my god!
So, but again, I'll link that. That awesome page with all the recipes on it for you. That's what I use. She doesn't say anything about smelling like jizz though, because she's probably way too polite. She's probably not as disgusting as I am.
Probably not.
That'd be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I think I'm super glad that my mom doesn't have like a computer and she has absolutely no understanding of what we do or what a podcast is.
Yeah.
Because I really feel good that she doesn't listen to some of the things we say. My mom thought we were doing a radio show for like the first 2 months we were doing this.
That's what I told most people that we're doing if they don't know what a podcast is.
Well, I told her, I think maybe at some point I said it's kind of like an internet radio thing. I don't know. She gets so confused by it.
Yeah.
Also, another thing that you want to consider when you're using paper mache or you're making something big is your armature or your understructure for it. So there's the classic balloon.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned from watching videos and tutorials on the interwebs that you can use, I don't know, this one guy that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes uses just crumpled up paper that he molds in the shape that he wants it. And you can use, I've also used, for smaller things, I've used aluminum foil.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think I have a friend that just even uses clay and then picks the clay out.
Oh, that would be a good idea too.
Yeah, because then he can get all sorts of funky, cool shapes.
Yeah, all kinds of details and stuff. And you can even use that flour and salt and water homemade clay instead of buying any. Now that's thinking.
Yeah.
But the point being, you need that armature and understructure for several reasons. One, as I noted, paper mache that gets too thick takes for fucking ever to dry. And you need it to dry or it will mold or fall apart or whatever. And I am really impatient, so I tend to do too many layers at once.
Do you ever blow dry between?
Sometimes I do, but I think that's such a wet, newspaper is pretty dense.
Mm-hmm.
So even one layer of newspaper, one complete layer, I feel like when it's saturated with paper mache paste, it
takes
a while to dry. Plus, wheat paste is pretty dense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all real thick. You also want to use that for, like, any sculpture. If you're making something bigger or more sizable, your armature and understructure are going to help support the overall piece.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to support the weight of the paper mache and the weight of the overall structure. So, and you can even use it like, I've seen people leave the wires poking out the bottom so you have something to attach it to a base to if you're making a pretty big sculpture.
Oh,
so,
cool. Mm-hmm.
So, but it's pretty important to do that for larger pieces, I think. I think a smaller piece you would be okay without. I mean, in some instances you're taking, like you said, he takes the clay out after it dries.
Mm-hmm.
So in some cases you're taking that understructure or armature away before you finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, you know, I would imagine that's for something probably not too huge, not a really big structure.
Right. Yeah, I'm talking like, he does like smaller, he does puppets, so like maybe that would be one of his smaller puppets.
Yeah.
But for his big puppets, like ones that are like to go over somebody's head or like really huge, I'm pretty sure he uses some wire armatures and structure.
I've even seen, like, I don't remember where, the other day I just had this flash of, where the hell did I see, like, kind of a documentary style thing? Maybe it was on that show that, how stuff works, or no, how it's made. Do you know that show?
Mm-mm.
It's on the Discovery Channel or the Science Channel or something. Anyway, they talk about how stuff is made. And they were talking about the big dragons that they use for Chinese New Year and stuff. Like the big dragon dances. They were talking about how they make their heads. And I thought it was really interesting that they used a really fine bamboo for the armature in that. Cool. And that is kind of, they do paper mache those a lot. Mm-hmm. And they go over it with a top layer of fabric, like silk.
Oh, cool.
So, those were pretty neat. Actually, I wonder if I can find a link to that. I don't know if you watch that show. I'm totally addicted to that show. They have marathons sometimes, but
oh, nice.
It's pretty awesome. But yeah, so you'll want to plan for that, like judging on what size of you're going to make. You kind of want to plan, well, how am I going to do this? And you might need to do a little bit of experimenting and see what's going to work best for you.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, once it's dry and you're ready to go, you can paint it with anything.
Mm-hmm.
Paint it, spray paint it, brush paint it with acrylic paint, airbrush it. Like, the options are endless.
It's kind of endless on that, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can also, once it's dried, you can sand it.
Oh, yeah.
You can kind of shave it down to trim it up. And the one artist that I really, really like he puts pieces together with Scotch tape. No, wait, is Scotch tape just the white, yellowy, whitish tape? Yeah, he uses a lot of Scotch tape to, am I thinking of the right kind of tape?
Masking tape?
Yes, masking tape. Thank you. Scotch tape is clear. Masking tape. He just uses that to, like, you know, if he's making a dragon that has horns, he uses that. He makes the horns separate from the head and then uses masking tape to tape it all together.
Oh.
And then does another layer of the paper mache over the top of that to make it smooth. Cool. And then he paints it. So, you know, and you can seal it. You don't have to seal it. Like, it has so many different uses. I guess it would depend on what you were using it for, you know, as far as masks or
that's a really good idea
or something. So, but yeah, it's really cool. As a matter of fact, since we've mentioned them a couple of times and we're kind of getting to that part of the show anyway, I wanted to talk about some of our favorite paper mache artists, because I feel like a lot of people think of paper mache as just the thing that you did when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's not applicable or usable in the grander art world. And it's used in more than people think that it's used in.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was just checking out this site. Do you want to talk about that artist that you...
Yeah, I'll talk about him really quick. Isn't he?
Yeah, like I'm just looking at his website
blows
and it's
my
like,
mind.
whoa.
Yeah, this guy is... I actually discovered him when I was doing research for the papier-mâché swap I did a couple years ago. His name is Dan Reeder, Danreeder, and he is mind-blowing, the work that he does. You can, I'll link his website. You can go to his papier-mâché gallery and read about him. And he posts a lot of videos on, like, time-lapse videos on how he does what he's done. My favorite one, do you see the dragon at the inside of the mouth lights up?
Oh, yes, I see it.
And then if you scroll down, there's another one that is, like, blue and in the inside of his mouth is red. Like, you know how much I love wiring LEDs into stuff that I do. And then he has a whole video of how he did that. I am stunned by his work, and it's all papier-mâché.
It's really cool. Oh, yeah, here it is all lit up. Yeah, it's really amazing.
And he does these, like I said, he does a lot of time-lapse videos of how he does the things that he does, and it's just incredible. He's a very big inspiration to me, just in sculpture work in general.
Yeah, his stuff is amazing when you realize that it's papier-mâché.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what? Well, I think, actually, the reason we even ended up doing that swap is my friend who runs the group said, holy crap, check this shit out, you guys, and posted a picture of this guy doing a papier-mâché fish.
Oh, wow.
Like one of those big, big deep sea crazy looking bastards. And he did it, it was that time lapse, and we were all like, holy shit. And then he's like, let's do papier-mâché fish.
Oh, cool.
And so I made an angler fish. You know, the ones that have the little light that they dangle down in front?
Yes.
I did one of those.
It was awesome.
And, oh, you saw it. That's when I wired the light into it. It's not as fucking awesome as this guy's stuff, but I used a balloon as like the understructure to hold it open. And now that I've really watched those videos and I see what he does, I am super eager to experiment a little bit with just using the wadded up newspaper as the understructure, because I would love to have like a dragon's head like that on a plaque to hang on my wall.
Oh yeah, it'd be so, his stuff is incredible.
Like, totally incredible. Every once in a while I see an artist that I get so overwhelmed by their work that it makes me get inexplicably weepy. Like, I'm not sure why. It's just this, it's almost a sense of being overwhelmed or so in awe of it that I just get tears in my eyes. And the first time that I really looked through his galleries and watched the videos of what he did, I got super weepy. I was like, this is so fucking cool. I was going to cry. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's amazing stuff.
So, were you going to talk about your friend that makes the masks?
Yeah, Bruce Orr, he does mud-eye puppets, and so he makes a lot of puppets out of papier-mâché, and then he does large heads that he uses for, like, puppets, or he's done in parades that go over your heads, or, like, different big pieces. He's made, like, giant hands, and they're just really cool. He does a lot of recycled art and recycled puppets, but he uses really a lot of papier-mâché, too, and they're really cool. I love the heads, because they're just fun. Like, he would bring them out, and we'd put the heads on, and, you know, they're so light, and, you know, dance around with the heads, and
that's really
there's a lot of fun.
I see one right here that I'm looking at on his Facebook page, and I'll link the Mud-Eye Puppet Company Facebook page for everybody to see. But in the albums that his costumes and set for Flossophony 101, I think is how you would say it. There's like a green bear head that looks like it's papier-mâché.
Yeah,
and they're just friggin' awesome.
Super fun.
I love that.
Yeah, he does great. It's just fun stuff.
You know, that's another thing that papier-mâché is used for a lot. Not just costumes, but mascots, and also in parade floats. When I was researching for this episode, I didn't know that. When I was doing research for this episode, I found something that said that, and I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, he's done a lot. Well, I guess they weren't parade floats, but yeah, like stuff in parades and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
well, costumes. That's really cool. And he is not a Portlander anymore, I see.
No, sadly, he's not now. He's in Massachusetts, but
that's really cool, though.
Now blessed with him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I feel like, did you have anything you wanted to add about paper mache, or?
I don't think so.
No. I think that people should try it, though. Get out there and experiment around with it again, even, and there's something fun that you could do with your kids.
Yeah, totally. It's cheap, too.
And it's a super kid-safe project. There's nothing toxic. There's nothing... The only problem is that it's a little bit messy. But just do what I do, and I tape down garbage bags.
Oh, yeah. Yep, exactly.
I don't know. My mom raised me to not like a mess, I guess. No, that's not true. She didn't like messes, and that made me messier, so...
Oh.
Dude, she hates messes so much I was never allowed to have an easy bake oven.
Oh.
So I bought my son, when he was little, a Queasy bake oven, which was the boy version of gender stupid shit. It was what they marketed to boys, but you made, like, gross things.
Oh.
Which I would have been totally into when I was a little girl. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I bought it for him for Christmas and took it to my mom's, and we opened it there. And we took all the packets out and cooked everything the first night. So I said, "How do you like this mess, Mom?" "Woo, we're making dough biscuit cookies with foamy frosting." You can't see it, but I just flipped the bird. But yeah, let your kids make a fucking mess, people, and have fun with them. Do some goddamn paper mache and enjoy it.
That's right.
So I don't think we have any listener mail this week.
Wow.
I know. I did want to make a small announcement. I don't really know exactly. We're kind of toying with the idea. And actually, we need to have a meeting about it, Sharon. I need to tell you. But I'm kind of toying with some, how to create a package for advertising. So, our listeners, if they have a business, maybe we can set up some advertising or sponsorship, opportunities. So if you're interested in that, again, it will just be to keep the podcast running, not as a profit, but we do have to pay a monthly fee for our hosting, and that will go up once we the more episodes we store back, the more we have to pay for storage. So just to cover things like that, or equipment, if something happens to someone's microphone or something, we want to be able to have a little tucked away for that. So again, it's a free podcast, and we're not making a profit off of it, but it would be, I'm thinking, probably just a minimal fee for just a 1-minute ad or something. So, but again, Sharon and I need to kind of work that out, but keep an eye on our blog for details about that. And if you're specifically interested in doing something like that, you can email us at 2artsygals@gmail.com. Just, put sponsorship in the title or something, so I'll see it right away. And if you guys want to email us about wheat paste and the odors it creates, or or paper mache, or if we missed something, or if you know of another paper mache artist that you think we should know about, or you just want to tell us something awesome about the show, you can also email us at that address, and I will have links to everything that we talked about on our blog, which is 2artsygals@wordpress.com. So go check that out, especially for the recipes for the wheat paste, and to see the cool artists that we talked about this week, because they're both pretty incredible. So other than that, just you can subscribe to our show on Stitcher or with the iTunes app, and it'll update every week, so you don't have to worry about when we have a new show up. And you can do that, and you can also leave us feedback on those sites to support the show and let people know that we're awesome, so that they want to listen to us.
All right.
Well, that's it. So until next week, go make some cool shit, yo. Oh shit, I forgot to put the thing up so I can push stop. Bye.